Hello friends, so I thought I would come to you today to talk about some of those books that I own and for reasons unknown to anyone present I haven't read yet, but I know I'm going to absolutely love and rate 5 stars once I finally do. So without further ado, let us talk about them because there are quite a few. So first off, I have The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden, and this was a Christmas present from my friend Rachel. And we're going to do a buddy read of it at some point. I'm thinking around winter because I feel like the vibe of this just screams winter. And from what I know, this is a very kind of slow-paced, beautifully written fantasy story centered around stories, storytelling, legacy, folklore, all of those things. I think it's Russian inspired as well. I know nothing else about it whatsoever. I think the main character is a child in this one and then grows up in the next books. I'm not sure, but it sounds atmospheric, it sounds lyrical, it sounds character driven, and it sounds like it has a really interesting mythology and folklore to it. So all of those are things I really enjoy. So I'm hoping I'm really going to enjoy this when I do read it. And then I have what is the upcoming second release from an imprint of Hachette Kids that I'm really into. It's called Bellatrix, and it's all about celebrating women's stories and recentering classical tales into new perspectives so that they speak to modern values, kind of. So basically, it's about telling women's stories and their whole stories and being faithful to that. And I'm very much into the second book they're coming out with. Is called The Deathless Girls, and it is a story about the brides of Dracula. I know nothing else, but I do have a review on my blog for the first book in this collection, which is Becoming Dinah by Kit DeWall. I will link that down below, but that was a contemporary. This sounds like it's fantasy, naturally, urban, kind of, historical, kind of. I know nothing else. I don't want to know nothing else. Again, this one sounds like it's going to be lyrical, hopefully a bit gruesome, just really unique, and like it's like one of those stories that just sounds like everything I need in life, but somehow haven't received this far. So I'm meant to be very thankful once I do read it. So very excited. And also I feel like it should be, I suppose, one of those stories that has very morally ambiguous characters at the center of it, which I'm all about, and vampires. You know what? It's just perfect for me. Then also from Hachette Kids, I have Slay by Brittany Morris, and this is pitched as, I suppose, Warcross meets Children of Blood and Bone-ish. It's pretty much about this young black girl who has created an online MMORPG kind of game that's very Wakanda inspired, and I think the author herself said that Black Panther kind of gave her the push to write this book. So it's meant to be really mysterious because there's something happening within the game and she has to fix it, and no one knows that she's the one that created the game. So I guess it celebrates this young black girl being freaking amazing, and also there is a mystery and there is the fantasy element of the game itself. So it has a lot of really interesting things. I loved Warcross. I love the whole concept of, gaming culture within literature, and I love African-inspired fantasy type of things. So I'm very, very excited. This has been getting so many good reviews as well, so cannot wait. This one may kind of ruin my camera because the cover is so fucking ridiculous, but it's A Curse So Dark and Lonely. Please don't blind anyone. Shall I just show you the spine? That may be safer. By Bridget Kemmerer. And this is a fairy story. It's very Beauty and the Beast inspired from what I have heard. I know literally nothing else about it except that a few of my friends have really, really enjoyed it. Again, this is one that's been very popular on BookTube. And I love fairy stories. I suppose that's one of the things I have discovered about myself this year and the past years. But mostly this year has been the big fairy year for me. So very excited. Love me a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I'm here for it. And I think the main character has a disability. I could be wrong. I'm not sure what it is, but I heard something about that, so I'm intrigued. Since we are talking about fairies, I have a bind-up of the Modern Fairy Tales by Holly Black, and these are her first fairy stories from back in the day, so it is Tide, Valiant, and Ironside. I only know these have some sort of fairies in them. They're quite gruesome. We have some moral ambiguity up in here. They're urban fantasy, and it's Holly Black. I love Holly Black. I would die for Holly Black. And this was very kindly sent to me by Simon & Schuster. So, very excited about that. I know nothing plot-wise. I don't even know if they're a proper series or just companions. But I'm very intrigued because I think Holly Black does urban fantasy and fairy stories really well. So I'm here. On a whole other end of the spectrum, I have Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. I know, I'm very far behind. I loved Celeste Ng's debut, Everything I Never Told You, when I read it years ago. And I don't really read that much adult fiction, but I do love her, and I love her writing style, and this sounds intriguing. And again, it's one that I've heard so many great things about, and Reese Witherspoon is developing a TV show about it. I think it's one of those hard-hitting, family-centric adult contemporaries that explore a lot of themes like privilege and race and small-town communities and all of those good things. And also there's a mystery, there's some sort of fire. I think it kind of switches back and forth. I don't know. I know it's about an artistic, quirky lady moving close to this like perfect, posh suburban family, and then shit goes down, I suppose. I know nothing else, but I trust Celeste Ng with my life, so I am compelled. I know we're going to the ones where I had enough trust to go for the fantasy hardbacks, which does a lot. So I have The Gilded Wolves by Roshni Chakshi. Isn't this just the most stunning thing you've ever seen? A lot of people are comparing it to Six of Crows, and then a lot of people are very mad at the comparison. Regardless, I don't really care if it is like Six of Crows or not, just because it sounds like such a fabulous story on its own, and I love Roshni's writing. I'm kind of obsessed with her Arusha middle grade series, if you didn't know, so I'm very excited to actually read some YA by her. And this is a historical fantasy heist story, which again, everything I ever wanted. It's set in Paris. It has a whole cast of characters that's meant to be like a gang, I guess. I don't know. I know nothing. I know that it has angst. I know it has that interesting like large group dynamic. I know it has weird magic. I'm here, you know? So I know a lot of people have been complaining that the world building is kind of all over the place and a lot to take in. I don't really mind, to be fair. As long as I get in it for the characters, I'll be in it, you know? I'm very character driven when it comes to my readings, so I don't mind that. Just hope I do love the characters, but it sounds like I could. And I hear the diversity within the cast of characters when it comes to the protagonists is great as well, and there are a lot of interesting themes that she explores, so I'm very excited. And then these still have the price tags on them because they've just been hiding in a corner judging. I got the fantasy editions of Vicious and Vengeful by V. Schwab. This again is one of her older series that has had a revival, and we got the sequel companion thing, and it's pretty much The Secret History meets X-Men from what I've heard. So it's dark academia with superpowers, with morally ambiguous anti-hero types, and it's very dark and murdery and gruesome, and I'm fucking here for it. It sounds very pretentious, it sounds smart. I haven't read a V. Schwab book that I didn't love, so very excited. And then last but not least, we have an absolutely remarkable thing by Hank Green. I love the Vlogbrothers. I love Hank's videos. I love the concept of this. I'm here for it. It's a very light sci-fi slash, I suppose, speculative fiction novel about this young woman who finds these robots falling from the sky, basically, and she puts that up online and she goes viral. So they're both trying to figure out what the fuck is happening with those robots that they named Carls that have fallen from the sky, and also it's her dealing with online culture and fame and all of those things. And I have been having a time when it comes to online internet culture and all of it in my tiny little brain lately. So I feel like this is gonna be just a lot, and I'm very excited about it, and I cannot wait to see how it deals with all of those themes. And I'm just here. Please do let me know if you've read any of these, if you think I would give 5 out of 5 to them, or if I should lower my expectations. And yeah, thank you for watching. I shall see you next time. Bye.